When you think of a dagger in Elden Ring, what comes to your mind? Maybe the insanely overpowered early game Reduvia, or the weapon that kickstarted the shattering, Black Knight. Well, if those are what come to your mind, then you're stupid. But fear not, Dark Souls 2 fan is here to educate you, because I think of the Ivory Sickle. In terms of location, it's kind of hidden away, and you might have found it in Night Rain as Duchess and thought, wow, I never saw that in base game. I wonder if it's any good. Well, let me tell you. Although, you might have heard of it from maybe worst Elden Ring items video or worst Elden Ring items list. But that's hogwash. I'm going to show you some of the best aspects of this weapon. Well, to start with, the weapon's Ash of War is Quick Step. And if you don't meet the requirements, you can use Quick Step to get through the abandoned cave in Caelid, which is the Scarlet Rot Swamp, with 2 Clean Rot Knights as the boss, without using any FP. And it has the third longest range in the Dagger class. I mean, it's still less than Misericord, but honestly, who cares? It's also not the heaviest dagger. It weighs 0.5 units less than the Reduvia and 1 unit less than the Wakizashi. So it is not the worst dagger in range, and it's not the worst dagger in weight. Now, let's talk about the negatives. The first problem with the Ivory Sickle is that it is totally, fully, completely obsolete. The Ivory Sickle can first be found in Liurnia of the Lakes, specifically the Albinoric village, and it scales with mostly Dex and Int, with a D strength scaling and a C Dex and Int scaling at max level, with a damage value of 147 and both magic and physical at max level. Also in Liurnia is the Crystal Knife. It scales with mostly Int, with a D in strength and Dex and a B in Int at max level. It has 200 in physical and 129 in magic at max level. Another thing about both daggers is they have a crit rating of 100. Quick side note, the Crystal Knife is fucking terrible as well. This section is not to show it as any sort of viable weapon, but more to show the fact that the Ivory Sickle is even worse than one of the most dog shit weapons in the game. If you really want a dedicated, not even somber, uninfusable Int dagger, please just do Selen's Quest, get the Glintstone Chris, or alternatively, you could go into Stormvale Castle, pick up the Misericord, the weapon with the highest crit rate in the game, and fuse that with magic, and maybe put a good Ash of War on it, and wow, you've got a decent weapon. That took a while, but you know, just because it's obsolete, that doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. So what makes it so uniquely bad? If you're enjoying the video so far, I'd appreciate it if you could subscribe for more content like this, or challenge runs and more weapon analysis, whatever. If any of those sound appealing, help a small, struggling D-list, well, F-list indie YouTuber out, and subscribe, share, comment, like. If you have any ideas for anything I could do in the future, I'd appreciate that if you could comment that. But I'll stop wasting your time. Back to the best weapon in Souls history. Another glaring issue that appears straight away with the Ivory Sickle is its fixed Ash of War. I mean, that isn't a problem. It might be something good. Solnaf has a fixed Ash of War. That's amazing. Well, not as amazing as it used to be, but still pretty good. Except you didn't say that because you're looking at me fighting something with it right now. It's Quick Step, an Ash of War that no one has ever used outside of a single cave in Dragon Barrow, and I guess maybe the one in Liurnia with the single Clean Rot Knight and the poison, but that one isn't that bad. And even then, it is just objectively outclassed by Bloodhound Step because that has 1 more iframe. Well, at least it'll be easy to upgrade. Nope, it upgrades with regular smithing stones, which are more expensive, far more annoying to get, so you can get some of the worst damage in the game on a weapon with a useless Ash of War, and it takes more than it should to upgrade. To be fair, this also applies to Crystal Knife, but it slightly beats it out in damage, so it's not getting bad mouthed as much. Still sucks though, fuck Crystal Knife. And also, due to the magic damage on it, it doesn't accept any buffs from spells like Blood Flame, or Electrify Armament, or Poison Armament, or any greases. Have fun! I understand, you can probably get worse damage on like a fucking magic damage rickety shield, or a random torch or something, but their purpose is not exclusively melee combat. I truly do believe the Ivory Sickle is the worst dedicated melee weapon in the game, although I may be proven wrong later. I doubt it though. Now, to pad out the runtime of this video, I'll be adding in a little challenge run. It's called Can You Beat Promised Concert of Dan with the Ivory Sickle? Well yeah, obviously, it's a bloody weapon in the game. To be honest, this fight wasn't actually too hard. I just have a lot of concert memorised anyway, and stacking Flame Grant Me Strength and my Physic with the Magic Shrouding Cracked here helped a lot. I was originally going to do the full post commentary of the fight, but that would literally have just been me going, yeah, this damage wasn't great. Yeah, that move can be kind of annoying, but I actually learned to dodge it so I could win the fight. Yeah, I quite like this boss. Yeah, he's pretty hard. Yeah, this weapon isn't really that great, and it would have been boring as fuck. This segment really didn't actually pad out the runtime that much, did it? The Ivory Sickle is outclassed by one of the worst daggers in the game that can be found in the same area as it, has shit damage, is a dagger with no crit bonus, has nothing that puts it over any other dagger than a minuscule range advantage, and it still isn't the best, it's third place. Has one of the most nothing Ashes of War in the game and can't be infused, still upgrades with regular smithing stones, can't be buffed. I really think there's just no reason to use this weapon unless you're either A, some form of twisted masochist trying to punish yourself in a challenge run, or B, some sort of twisted sadist trying to ruin some kid's day in an invasion, or make a duelist break their monitor in PvP after epically poning them with the worst weapon in the game. In terms of the worst FromSoft weapons King of the Hill game, Ivory Sickle has successfully dethroned Clerics Candlestick as the king of the shit pile of trash weapons. Thanks for watching. If you didn't understand that little Clerics Candlestick reference there, it's because I previously had a worst weapons video on the Clerics Candlestick, which you can go watch right now if you want. I'd say it's a pretty good video. Although I did overdo the actor a bit early on. I think I was a bit too enthusiastic. But yeah, I was thinking of maybe making my next video, or have another video soon, where it'd be sort of pseudo challenge run, pseudo weapon analysis, where I'd take like something like the Bloodfiend Sacred Spear, analyse why it's terrible, then go through the game with it and describe why it's so bad in certain situations. Like a Bloodfiend Sacred Spear or a perfume bottle. I guess I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you could drop a subscribe, share, like, whatever, if you enjoyed the content, that'd be much appreciated. Thanks. I was going to say Dark Souls 2 fan over and out, but I'm also thinking about maybe changing the profile or rebranding, because I do think Dark Souls 2 fan is, like, it's not a very distinctive name. It's a very literal name, in fact. And the profile picture of Blackbeard from One Piece, to be fair, I have been getting back into One Piece lately, but I don't think it's very relevant to the channel anymore, so I might have to change that. I'd still definitely keep him in the banner though, he's an important part of the channel's legacy. Okay, Dark Souls 2 fan, over and out for this time.